how do you audition for Proxima Caesar? How do you audition for Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, a huge franchise, one of the biggest? How does that happen?
My manager, at the time I was part of that ICM takeover by CAA.
Yeah,
and they were
I was there too.
Okay. They're like, oh, we want to keep you. And then they never called me.
Never.
I'm calling them out right now.
Never. Same thing happened with me. They didn't care. They didn't believe in me.
My manager, who does believe in me, thank God, both of them, got me the audition for Apes. And she sent it to me, and I was like,
was it a lot of lines?
Yeah, it was. Proximus is incredibly verbose.
Speeches,
probably the most verbose ape in this world to this point.
And you memorized all of it?
Yep. I did. I just wanted to. I didn't even want to get into the simian aspect of it because I understood that was going to be a whole other can of worms. So I just played the scene.
With a voice, the voice that you used?
I was doing more of like a kind of a mid-Atlantic accent, and just gave it power and humor.
Physicality?
I was sitting the whole time. But once I got the scene to a point where I watched it, I was like, that's compelling. That's good. Then I knew that I had this ace up my sleeve, which was I've been obsessed with apes since I was a child. And so, at 6'6",
that's how you started acting. You watched Planet of the Apes.
Yeah.
I saw that story.
Yeah.
About your mom. You're like, how is that? There's people inside there.
Exactly.
And you're like, what? And you're like, this is what I want to do.
Yeah.
But so go ahead.
So my ace up my sleeve was that I set up a camera at the end of this long hallway in my house, and there were no lights. And so you couldn't really see the end of the hallway. So I made my wife press record, and then I just told her to leave it for a bit. So about 5-6 seconds go by. And then out of nowhere, I fucking do this crazy ape run up to the camera, right? And I pop up and kind of like what I envisioned them was like.
I can see it.
Did the thing. And I was flexing. I was like, I still had
Did you have a shirt on?
I had a shirt on, but I had the Hulk Hogan weight on. So like I was like about 285. Like then I was just dropping, and I just slayed it. And then they called pretty quick after, and I'm so lucky.
You got the part. You didn't have to go in again.
No, I met. I took a meeting, and the meeting was. It was more like it felt. As the meeting was going, because you never know what you're going to get from a meeting, like you're kind of like trying to sell yourself, but it almost felt like they were trying to sell me on the world. And I was like, holy shit, like you guys don't realize, like, I really want to do this. Like, let's if you want, let's go. You know what I mean? So that's kind of how it came down. And then, and then I just started working more on my flexibility and stuff. And then when I got there, we did like 5 weeks of ape school and
5 weeks. And I bet it's like, I bet you were sore doing all these moves, and your posture's different and everything's.
It was very, it was very natural for me.
Really?
I wasn't sore. Being a hockey player, you're always in that crouch. Right?
Yeah,
you're always in that crouch your whole life. So you're used to being in that crouch. And then I've been spending tons of time stretching for years and years. So like my body liked it. Like I almost liked it better.
Yeah. Did they ask you to like find your voice, find the gruff, find the how did you find that like that whole thing?
I didn't know that was going to be it. We had gotten about 4 weeks into ape school, and it was just me and this fella by the name of Alain Gauthier, who was like one of the founders of Cirque du Soleil, and he left Cirque to come and work with us. And he started asking me questions because I started feeling like I was finding the body, and through all, it's neat because they did the same anatomical work as I had been doing for Hulk Hogan. So I was like, oh, this is really neat that you guys are doing this, because I was just doing this for this. And I had never done that to that level before. And he just asked me a question, and I just went, I feel very good. And he was like, what? And he was like, what a wonderful day. And he was just like, do that again. Can you stay in that? I was like, I could talk like this all day. It just became this thing. And I showed it to Wes, who's an amazing world builder. And he sat with me and he was like, I love this. He's like, now I want you to think more about the anatomy. And so I went and studied the anatomy of like the throat, the trachea, the sound box and everything, and tried to figure out. And I was like, man, getting human sounds out of that seems like that would be really hard. So I wanted to work for it. So I had to be off of it was
diaphragm.
Like, I am very hungry. Right. And so it was like,
and came from the gut.
Yeah.
Came from like the, wow.
Came from the gut. So it's supported. So people are like, oh, that probably hurt your voice. It didn't never hurt my voice because it was supported.
Right.
So.
And when you first saw this, because you're the whole trailer of the movie. I mean, it's like, it's that whole.
Wasn't expecting that, man.
What a wonderful day.
Yeah.
It's like, when you first saw yourself on screen as this ape, as Proximus, did you get goosebumps?
Wes brought me in to do some. I didn't know anything about the trailer or anything. So when he brought me in to do ADR, he goes, I gotta go make a phone call, but I'm gonna play you a little bit. And I stood there, and it wasn't until the end of it, like my body was shaking and I had tears come down, because finally. My biggest thing that I always loved was getting away from me and being something new. And this was the greatest immersive experience I had ever had. So,
have your kids seen it?
Yeah. I don't think I would have taken them, but my wife took them while I was away doing press. And because my 8-year-old she's a real little artist, storyteller. And she flipped out at the end. Like she was beyond unhappy. She was so distressed.
Oh, what happened to you?
Because she wasn't seeing Proximus. She was seeing me, because she sees me walking around the house like that all the time and speaking in that voice. And I play with them like that. And so, even though there was that great work that Weta added on, she didn't do so well with that.
Oh man!
Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe when she's older,
to do a part like that is just. I mean, because you've done so much.